Welcome again to another This Week in Wabash. I'm Wade Weaver from 105.9 The Bash. We've got a pretty busy week this week. We're going to talk with the mayor about a lot of things going on in the city, basically talking mostly about some of the housing additions that will be coming. So you don't want to miss that towards the end of the show. Plus, Green Hat has done another beautiful video. We'll check in with them to see what's going on with Green Hat Productions. Plus, Bev Ferry from Living Well in Wabash County will talk to us about how you can get more information with the seniors and helping them in our community. Plus, we'll start things off with Mike Kefauver, not about MSD schools, but kind of what everybody in Wabash County is doing about drug prevention and how it starts in the schools. So let's get things kicked off with that right here on This Week in Wabash. Welcome to the MSD segment of This Week in Wabash. Usually Mike Kefauver is sitting in this chair, and Mike, you get to talk to a lot of people. And I've really enjoyed the last 3 weeks, actually, getting to know some of those awesome students in your buildings.
Yeah, we have great students, and we're going to have more later on. So
Good.
Looking forward to that.
We've actually gotten great feedback, honestly. People are like, yeah, I watched it but I really enjoyed that interview with that kid and that, so it's been great. But my gosh, it makes my heart feel so good to know that this country is in good shape because we've got some wonderful young people.
Yes, we do. Yeah. And we're looking forward to, like I said, more.
Yeah.
But they've done a great job, too.
Yeah, so. Good for you. Can't wait to meet some teachers, too. Maybe we can meet them in the summer, when they're just off relaxing.
Yeah, we may not. They may not be dressed up. Maybe they're in t-shirt and shorts.
I'd
but
love
that's
that.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
I'd
okay.
love that. All right. Well, let's talk about something that was on my mind and lips and heart a few years ago on the radio. There was a lot of drug talk, and even when I was running for mayor and Scott Long was running and Boo, we all talked about one of the big issues was drugs. We've got to help with the drug situation. And get it stopped, get it prevented, get it treatments, do whatever we can in the community. I understand that you're part of a committee that is about prevention. So let's find out more about what the school systems and everybody in this community are doing.
Okay. Well, to start with, I was approached through just an email by Marilyn Custer Mitchell, who is our CEO at Wabash Parkview Hospital, and she was forming what they coined as being the Wabash County Drug Steering Committee. I was very willing to do that because obviously being a part of education, we want to be able to do the best that we can as far as educating our students.
Yeah.
And so she created this. I don't know all of the other background information of that, but there were probably a group of 20 people that became or were on this committee. And we broke it down then into 3 different committees. I'm on the committee of prevention. They also have a committee of there's 2 other ones, treatment and transition. We talked about that earlier, but treatment and transition. But prevention is one that we're really working on, and so...
Well, it makes sense for the schools.
Yeah, for the schools. Yeah. And so our committee is a committee of about 10 people, community people, superintendents, also law enforcement, DCS, Bowen, all those people that are the leaders of those groups. And so we have been working towards trying to put programs in place that are basically supplemental to what we have as far as our regular health curriculum.
Sure.
And sometimes those health curriculum, there are certain things that we do follow with the state standards, but we also like to even increase more of that. And so part of that, we've had Nathan Harmon come in. Nathan Harmon is he was a person that was an addict that has basically recovered. He's done a great job. He's a speaker. He goes all across the country. So he came to us for basically the high schools 2 years ago. Last year we worked and Julie Hobbs through the DCS worked with several people that were going to speak on what we call the Addictions Impact Panel. And so it's not just people that were affected personally by addictions, but also just because they were family members of those that have been in that situation. And
it can affect so many people.
Many people.
Yeah. I had a thing a few years ago, like I said, on the radio, and we talked a lot about the drugs, and we had a lot of people in. And my dream back then was to be able to get into the school systems at kindergarten level. So where are you guys doing with this prevention work?
Well, and that's great. You had that dream, and apparently people have taken hold of that and been able to apply it. So we do start at kindergarten level.
Okay.
So we start with kindergarten level. We were not able to do that this year, but we've done it in the past, the last 2 years. And then we will continue it again for the 2021-2022 school year. That's very hard to say.
So it is, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. What's sad is kindergartners and then on up might have to deal with their parents who are addicted, and seeing that. I mean, it's important to make sure these kids understand what's happening.
Oh, exactly. And I know I was a part of another school district that we did the DARE program 7th and 8th grade. 7th and 8th grade, that's way too late now.
So.
And just because what you said, it's not necessarily because you're going to have kindergartners that are going to become addicted to something, although they might be addicted to candy or something like that, like some of us might be. But they do need to recognize what happens when someone is addicted, whether that's a parent, whether it's a friend or a family member or anyone. So it is good to recognize those different characteristics.
Well, some of those kindergartners now, because a lot of this was going on 5, 6, 7 years ago, a lot of these kids were born into it. And I'm sure there's some stats there too that,
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because we all know that if that happens, that does affect their cognitive ability, a lot of different things. And so that's something else that we have to work on in the schools, not anything that we're doing right now as far as prevention, but that is one thing, we want to prevent that with our students, but also with adults, so that does not continue.
Does the data show that bringing in people like Nathan Harmon and some of these other, it really does help? I mean, does it scare? You've heard of Scared Straight too. I mean, does it really whoa, light bulb?
Yeah, that's a good question. We did do a survey last year with all of our high school students and middle school students that basically said, what did this do for you? And there were people that were very impactful or impacted because of it. I know that through that survey, it was a very positive survey. They thought it was good. They thought that they learned a lot, and they felt like it was going to help them in the future because there is a lot of peer pressure. Peer pressure is going to, and when you're not around people that are helping you in that situation and they're hurting you in that situation, they need to have some kind of a resource, and hopefully that's one of those resources. Just heard a student yesterday that we talked about this because we're actually, this Addictions Impact Panel is going to be a community event coming up here in June, but they remembered last year when we did that pre-COVID. When I say last year, I meant last school year.
Last year's a blur.
Yeah, it was all blurred.
Yeah,
so,
I know what you mean.
So anyway, it does help, and we are going to continue with the programs to be able to help that prevention. So,
okay. Now you mentioned this event in June. Is now a good time to talk about that? Can we share when it is?
Yeah, we can share it now. We haven't really publicly said this yet, but we are starting to work on some of the social media posts and some of the things that we're going to do, and even maybe ask you. So it'll be on June 5th at 7 p.m. That's a Saturday evening. And I know there will be a lot of things going on, but to be able to get the Honeywell Center and actually Ford Theater, that is a date that we were able to have. And so we will also have partners, we'll have different resources there for people, and we will actually have at least 3 of the people that actually spoke in the high schools, and what we call that is the Addictions Impact Panel, and they will be presenting that evening. So we just hope that you start marking your calendars for that. Again, that's June 5th at 7 p.m. at Ford Theater.
And just a reminder for folks, there are a lot of people in this community that are very concerned about this, and they're working on this. We talked a little bit about it earlier off mic, but the Success for All was kind of actually started because of all the drug talk. And so Bob Land, and I was asking these people, can we get into the schools? Asking Jason Callahan at the time, can we get in? Can Bob Land get in and start talking about this? So anyway, then Success for All came, and so there's a great group at that. I mean, have you been to some of those meetings?
Oh yeah, I attend. Typically, that's a Thursday, and it's interesting that you brought that up because this Thursday is our Success for All meeting. It's a little bit different now. We're still doing Zoom, but we still get together and we talk. And actually, that will be when I will talk about June 5th again for the Addictions Impact Panel, and all of those people, those community partners. We'll have the opportunity to be able to have some kind of a table set up that evening. And so that's where we share this information. This is where we try to work out different avenues to be able to be better prepared and to prevent some of the different situations that are happening. So yes, ever since I've been a superintendent, I have been a part of the Success for All and really enjoy being together with that group to be able to work on the challenges that we have in Wabash County. And it's not just Wabash County, it's also the state and nation and worldwide, but something that we really need to work on here in Wabash County.
Many organizations are involved in this.
Yes.
I mean, many from not only law enforcement, but again, DCS and Bowen Center and all of those folks getting together. So folks, you need to know that it is obviously an issue and that the people in this community really do care. Anything else you'd like to talk about on the prevention side of what you're doing?
No, not at this time, but if people have ideas, if they want us to look at other things as far as helping our students in Wabash County, certainly contact me or anyone that's on our committee, but start with me and we can work on those things.
Awesome. Thanks for the time.
All right, thank you.
All right, Mike Kefauver, MSD Schools, but actually part of this community-wide and all of the county. So Wabash City and MSD and Manchester Schools all involved in that. We have more coming up on This Week in Wabash.
Dare to dream about it. Dare to dream about it with Terrell Realty.
On This Week in Wabash, our conversation with Bev Ferry from Living Well, Wabash County. We want to talk about getting information out to the seniors. We kind of touched on it a little bit last week, but there's so much available from you. First of all, welcome.
Thank you.
We've had so fun, technical fun trying to get together, but we're together, we're doing it. And I'll be ready when this COVID thing is completely gone so we can come down there and set up and have some fun.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, actually, one of the most common ways we are used, but a lot of people don't think about it, is the people will call us and asking us what resources are available for their aunt or uncle or grandparent or parent here in Wabash County. They call from all over the country. And they go on our website and there's an info at livingwellinwabashcounty.org and we get that email. And we can point them in the right direction as to what a lot of people are surprised. They might be in other states where there's more offered to seniors in terms of social service network. And we tell them what we can. Local families will call for the same things, but also local families will call and say, my siblings don't agree with me. I think mom and dad need to, they shouldn't be living in their own home. And then, we're happy to be a mediator. If you want to come in and talk, we can let each group talk. But most people just end up, which is the best, just telling their brothers and sisters they need to get together and talk about mom and dad. And there is a project called Conversation Project. And we are going to be going into that very much deeper. Conversation Project is how you talk to your children about what you want done, your plans, where things are kept. What would you like? And that we are actually probably going to be partnering with a major university to launch that program in a concerted way with Wabash County adults. If someone is a caregiver for someone who is dying from, doesn't matter from what. So we're in the process of signing on with a major university, with their medical school, and it will help. It'll help me get it out to other people in Wabash County faster. And it will help with, I think, once people see that it's with a university that has a medical college, they might be more interested in trying it. And it's just basically workbooks. Anybody can go online and go to Conversation Project online and you'll find it. And it just talks about, it has free materials. And it's like workbooks that you can work through and you can download them. There's no charge. You just download them and print them out or whatever you need. But it's talking points. I was attracted to this because when my parents needed to talk to us, we were sitting down at Thanksgiving dinner, and it was my children and my husband, Nick, and I. We were sitting down And my mother hands me, or maybe it was my father, one of them handed me their living will and explained, you don't have anything to do with it. It's your brother Cliff's going to decide, or your two brothers. Well, that's not the time to tell people about something. It's better to sit down over a cup of coffee. I just want to talk to you about a few things. And that conversation project is something they can call in and ask about it, or they can go online. But we will be doing it. We should be doing watch it to come in terms of a lot more press and a lot more visibility with it.
So it sounds like the senior center is not just a recreation center for seniors, more of an information too.
Oh, yes. We also, now pre-COVID, we also had the Cancer Society group out of Northeast Indiana. They're out of Fort Wayne, and they actually had a social worker that was here, and that was I believe it was every Friday. Now with COVID, we had to stop that. We also have the SHIP program, the Senior Health Information Assistance Program through the state, and with local people who've been trained. And we had participated even with a cancer study with colon cancer. We promoted using those, the mail order Cologuards kits. And we are a place where we not only collaborate with other groups that can bring information to people, such as the cancer, or we also can sit down with people and say, well, this is what's available, and this is what's not available. This is how we can help you. A lot of them are really common, like mom won't go there for lunch. When I say, how about if you ask your mom to go with you once for lunch? Because parents don't like to, no matter what your age, you don't like to be directed like that. And seniors do not want their children to know if they're slipping or not feeling well, or if they're afraid to lose their independence. Mm-hmm. They aren't going to be honest with their children. And that's where the conversation project comes in. And
gotcha.
And then, everybody knows we help low-income people, right? I mean, we do that with with the pantry, and then we have the senior box, which is an additional program for seniors. Until you need us, you never give it another thought, because when the negative effects of aging hit you, it doesn't matter where you went to college. It doesn't matter how much money you made. It doesn't matter where you live. Aging is aging. And nobody thinks they're going to age or not age well, right? And they think they can control it, and nobody can control it. So you can maybe make changes to your lifestyle, but you can't control it. So we are something that people know about, but they've never thought to talk to us. And then we get a phone call.
Yeah, that's great. But they can always get a hold of you, and let's give them the ways: phone, email.
So 260-563-4475 is the number for the Senior Center and the agency. Mm-hmm. Our Facebook is our agency name, www.livingwellinwabashcounty.org. Spell it out, no spaces. And also our Facebook page, which is Living Well in Wabash County at Assisting Wabash County. And those are the easy ways. Also, if you want to email and you really have a personal question, I would suggest the email or calling. And you could do info@livingwellinwabashcounty.org.
Beautiful.
Or just give us a call.
Yeah.
See, the thing with yes, and I get contacted on the weekends through the information people will get on from the website. And I usually respond with the emails, because there have been some that were really crisis. And I say, you can't stay home. You need to call the squad right now. It's not something I can help you with. You need to call 911. Mm-hmm. We get those.
Okay, well, very good. Thanks for being a part of the community, Bev. I'm sure you've heard that a lot, but you're a huge resource for folks, and we can't wait to get back in there and get the recreation part of it too.
The fun part will be good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you for this week. We'll talk to you again next week.
That sounds good. Thank you.
All right. See you then. It is time for our conversation with Mayor Scott Long here on the phone, and it is brought to us by Jones Contracting. So we will get back to that conversation coming up right after this. Jones Contracting, Inc. is your one-stop shop for all of your heating and cooling, electrical, and plumbing needs. Jones Contracting, Inc. is your locally owned Bryant factory-authorized dealer. They are equipped with NATE certified technicians for heating and cooling, industrial and residential electricians, and licensed plumbers to get the job done. When you see the red van pull into your drive, you'll know your problems are about to be solved. Bryant is their brand, and service is what they do best. Forget the rest and call Jones Contracting, Inc. Only the best for you with Bryant, whatever it takes. Good morning, Scott.
Hey, good morning.
I think we had to start off by saying all of this road construction on these state highways are not your fault again. Just want to make sure we get that out there.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Seriously, a lot of people are like, why does he do this? It's like, it's not the mayor, not this year, this time.
Yeah, not this time.
Yeah.
We're the only project I got going on right now is new sidewalk on Canal Street by the new Lighthouse Mission location. Those guys are knocking that thing out. Matter of fact, I'm just driving by right now. So, yeah, traffic's already backed up on Cass Street.
Yeah.
They're milling out pavement on that project, and a lot of things going on.
Yeah. There are alternative routes, so take them. I loved it because last night I had to go out to Crossroads, and it took me 25 minutes to get to Crossroads Bank out there from here. But I thought, you know what? I'm going to go over to Miami, and I got back in 5 minutes. So it was, there are different things. But obviously you might be going through some residential, so slow down.
Yeah, you can go straight up Wabash Street and cut over on Sheridan and get to Albert Street and the back way into that shopping center. And
right.
Likewise, if you're going north of 24 to that shopping center, take Albert Street out.
Yeah. You can do
Yeah,
it. You can do it.
Yeah. I got the timeline from the state on the bridge projects sent to me yesterday. Wabash Street Bridge, I thought the deadline date was July 4th. It's a little bit later than that. It looks like it's about July 26th. Obviously, they're building in some weather days in there, too. So if we get good weather, they may be done early.
Good. And, the other deal is what's the other one that's going on? Is there another one that's happening right now?
Well, E&B's doing Manchester Avenue and Wabash.
That's right.
They're going to work on those Cass Street and Manchester and Wabash simultaneously. We're trying to get our sidewalks done on Canal Street prior to them coming through and milling and paving Canal because that is State Road 15, and then Market Street will also be milled and repaved. So we're trying to stay ahead of them.
Yeah. All right. Very good. Well, so before we get into some COVID talk, I'd rather talk about some really cool things going on. I shared with some folks what happened in the city council meeting the other night, and kind of a commitment to that project out there that everybody wants to see completed. Mayor, I'm going to let you do the honors. Basically, what's the latest on the GDX site?
Well, we're progressing through our development firm out of Louisville that wants to take that project on. They've subcontracted with an environmental firm and an attorney, group of attorneys out of Indianapolis. So they're negotiating with the responsible parties on the part of the city. And I asked the council to pass a resolution Monday night that the city would commit $500,000 for infrastructure improvements on that site. The ultimate goal is to get the responsible party to pay enough money that maybe we won't have to use much of that, if any. And so we're just setting ourselves up for when we get ready to build some houses and an apartment complex out there. So
such good news. Yeah. we need more housing, and we'd like to get that cleaned up. And that's been your goal from day one, pretty much. One of your major goals, get that thing cleaned up.
Yeah, it's that GDX site's been sitting there in that condition since around 2008, 2010, and it gets tied up in legal things, and taxes were unpaid, and we had to negotiate with Wabash County to take possession of that. We had to do that in a certain time frame, according to our attorneys, so that we could maximize any monies we can get from the responsible party or even IDEM at the state for a brownfield project. So, it's taken me, I'm in the 4th year of working on this thing, trying to get it to the point where we can start cleaning it up and then start building housing on it. There's nearly 30 acres there, and we'd like to build housing on all of it if we can.
How many front doors is the hopefully going to have? I mean, as far as all the apartments and the homes, did you say?
Oh man, the initial plan is for a 100-unit market rate apartment building,
which means not government subsidized.
Right. Market rate. The intent is to build nice apartments that'll be attractive to people to come to our community. Higher end finishes. Quartz or granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, the whole bit. I had a housing study done back in 2017. They've told us what Wabash can absorb as far as new houses, and we're following that plan. So, and then single family residences and maybe villa-minium type higher end side by side residences. We're probably looking at another 50 or 60 of those in there. So, we're developing that one. We're also working with another developer on the former Parkview Hospital site on East Street to get some housing built there too. And I think we are projecting 41 or 42 residences there.
Wow.
A neat concept on how we're going to lay that out, and it's being designed.
That is wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful.
Yep.
Are you allowed to talk about, it was in the meeting the other night, what the president brought up, John Burnsworth, about another housing project? Yeah.
Well, that's been in a public meeting. I mean, they had the Plan Commission preliminary plat approval for a new housing subdivision on the very north end of the city, just north of the Golf Course Drive to 50 North. Kentner Creek is going to be the name of it, Kentner Creek East and West. They're going to build some higher end executive style homes out there, roughly 2,500 square feet to 5,000 square foot homes. It's needed. The Gardens is probably the higher end subdivision, and all the lots out there are sold, and most of them are built on or will be built on. So we need another location for that type of housing. So we've got a group doing that also.
And the beautiful part about that is a lot of people always say, okay, great, we're getting some housing, but we need jobs. Well, companies, when they look at areas, Scott, as you know, and this is what I just want to make sure people understand, when businesses and companies look to locate, they also want to make sure that their, administration or executives or whatever have a place that they would like to live in. So we need them to live here.
Yeah, not only residences for their workers, new housing for their workers, or available housing.
Right.
One of the primary things they're going to look at, too, is your school system.
Yep.
And what they offer, because they want their employees to have good schools for their kids. They want their employees to have a good quality of life. So, the projects we've worked on for the last 10 years, the Riverwalk and, the fitness court and Riverfront Plaza and getting White Rock Recreation down on the river, and those types of things are what companies, when they're looking at a community, come to look for. So we try to develop quality of life aspects that'll be attractive to any company that would come in and look at us and say, wow, you guys got a lot to offer. This is going to be a good fit for us to locate.
Saw a lot of complaining about our taxes again. People like, what the heck? I just got this $1,400 stimulus check and now my property tax. Bottom line is we've got to have people living here. We need to share the expenses. We need people to come in and help us. Is that not right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And the other side of that coin is, and my emails had a few emails sent to it complaining to me about assessments going up. And as a property owner, the city of Wabash is an entity of Wabash County. Wabash County Assessor's Office is in charge of assessing properties. So when your assessment goes up, the mayor or the city council didn't have anything to do with that.
Right.
That's the other thing. If we get these new houses built, that's an additional tax base, because if you think about it, Parkview Hospital is a not-for-profit. They didn't pay taxes on that property.
Right.
Now that we have the GDX property, the city doesn't pay property taxes, so we don't have any tax revenue coming in off that 30 acres also. So it's imperative for me as a mayor to get this housing built, and that'll increase our tax base.
Amen.
That helps the schools, that helps the library, that helps Wabash County. And oh, by the way, the mayor's assessment went up and my taxes went up also.
Exactly.
Just, don't feel like you're the Lone Ranger out there when your tax bill goes up, because Wade pays taxes, all my city council members, I pay taxes, we're all getting hit with it.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. It's exactly right. And I wish it didn't take so much property to put a radio tower up, but I own a lot of property out there. Yeah. Oh, boy.
I get that.
Yeah. All right. So the next thing is just, there's plenty of room to get your COVID shots, right?
Yeah, we got plenty of appointments available, and it's kind of disconcerting that we're not filling those slots, because we don't even have, I think we got like 18% of our population has been vaccinated. I think maybe, I figured it up a week ago, and we've had additional vaccines since then, but between the number of positive cases we've had in Wabash County and what we had go through the vaccine clinic that I can count, we're at like 25% total if you add those two numbers together. And I say that because those who have had COVID have antibodies against COVID-19. So you add those who have the antibodies to those who are vaccinated, and we're probably sitting at 25%. So plenty of spots open. We're everybody in our district. We do an Indiana Department of Health meeting every week, and we're now having the discussions about dialing back the hours, or possibly even eliminating a day that we give vaccines, because all our people are volunteers, and if they're coming in and we've only got 50 people scheduled and they're all spread out over a 6 or 8 hour period, that makes for a lot of downtime.
Yeah.
And they would rather be busy, and we would rather not take up a bigger portion of their day than we need to, since they are volunteers. So.
Absolutely. All right. If you want the last word, anything else you'd like to share with the city?
No, we're just hoping to get some warmer weather. It doesn't sound like it's going to be too warm up until maybe the weekend. We're going to be below 60, which is not conducive to my temperament, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
But, we just need, we got some ribbon cuttings coming up. Businesses are opening, Pools Performance, and we've got another one that slips my mind right now, but I got notified of it yesterday on the same day. So A lot of stuff happening, businesses moving or acquiring other businesses. So it's good to see the growth within the city.
Yeah, absolutely. One of those is that downtown store on Canal that's going to be the candles and gosh. JoJo's. Dang it, I was sitting there going, what? Okay, yeah, JoJo's, which is really, really cool. That's going to be a neat place. Just another interesting reason and good place to go in the downtown area. But there's other things happening, like you said, pools, performance market. It's exciting to have the Pool family running that out there. So it's going to be good stuff. All right, Scott, we appreciate it.
For sure.
All right.
All right, have a good weekend.
You too, man. Tune in again next Friday for another edition of This Week in Wabash. And also check out the radio program on Sunday mornings at 9 right here on 1059thebash.com and 1059 The Bash Radio.